Did you know that working mothers spend as much, if not more, time with their children than stay at home mothers in the 70s did? That's right, working mothers today spend just as much time with their kids as stay at home mothers did in the 70s. Yet, they receive so much shame for working. When you tell people that you're a working mother and your children are in some form of daycare or they're with a nanny, people accuse you of not raising your children. They will say that you are an absent mother, that you've prioritized money over your children, you've put career over family. Yet, the data shows that working moms spend just as much time with their kids these days. And so, why do we have this narrative? What's so interesting, though, is the narrative we have for fathers, specifically working fathers. I had a comment on one of my LinkedIn posts last week where I said it's actually very difficult for women to re enter the workforce after leaving for years to care for their children. And this person said, this model still works very well for families if one parent is a high earner and works long hours in business and or works away from home. Better to have one parent at home or working part-time / job sharing if possible to support the family and run the home. My husband worked long hours as a self-employed partner and played golf at the weekends, but was never a disconnected father. Interesting. Somehow, a mother who works 40 hours a week and then spends all of her other time with her children is a bad, disconnected mother, but a father who does it, nope, that is still a good dad. That is an involved dad. That is the double standard when it comes to parenting. I just simply can't understand how we would look at a mother who goes to work every single day to provide for her family, who spends all of her evenings with her kids, her entire weekends with her kids, and say, you're not doing enough. You're not a good enough mom. You've abandoned your children for somebody else to raise them. Yet a dad who travels for work, works full time, and spends his weekends golfing is still a connected, involved parent. Like that doesn't compute for me. That does not make sense. When my husband works long hours, because he does, sometimes he works 18-hour days for weeks on end. When he does that, people are like, wow, he's working so hard. What a good husband. What a good dad. He must be exhausted. And if I were to do the same thing, people would wonder, who's taking care of my kids? Don't they miss me? Don't I care about them? There's this distinct narrative that we have for what it looks like to be a good mom. And most moms these days are burnt out because in the majority of homes, we are dual income homes, which means both people are working, if not full-time, at least part-time. And they're doing that while doing the bulk of the childcare, while doing the bulk of the domestic labor. And so they're running around from kids' activities to volunteering at school to soccer on the weekends to their full-time job to doctor's appointments. And they are expected to do everything. And they're still told that they're not a good mom because they've chosen to have a career. Whereas men have gotten away without doing any of that work for such a long time. They are allowed to golf on the weekends and spend their entire days at work. If they have a job that takes them away 50% of the time, totally fine. Because in order to be a good dad, all you have to do is bring a paycheck. And that's just not the case anymore. We need to change that narrative. And I know a lot of men don't align with that either. They don't believe that to be true. They want to be involved dads. They want to be present and hands-on in their kids' lives. They want to be at soccer practice. But the thing is, this narrative, this is a sticky narrative. People have a hard time letting go of this idea. And so we hold women to much higher expectations than we hold men when it comes to parenting.